Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. So my name is MAHATHIR bin Abdul Majid and I am from the IATB with the ID number IDA 2007006.
Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is SHAHRIZA Iskandar bin Muhammad Shah from DIA 3B, IDA 2007005.
Hi, my name is Shahmin Aiman bin JAAFAR. I am from DIA 3B and my ID number IDA 2007021.
Okay, my name is Muhammad HILMI bin Muhammad JUNET. My ID number is IDA 2007087 and I'm from class DIA 3B.
Hello, my name is Muhammad DANIAL bin SAZALI from class DIA 3B. My ID number is IDA 2007018.
Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. So now I am going to explain for the first part of our assignment with the subject of Financial Accounting 3 and with the code of ACC 2043. And our lecturer's name is Madam Nurzaimah binti Muhammad Zain.
Introduction. Mr. Amran is the owner of the Amran Furniture Enterprise. He decided to have a car for the purpose for the company. He plans to buy a new car by using the hire purchase basis, which is he can make the down payment that has been included the interest by each of the installment. So that he asked his niece to advise him for buying a new car at the range price below 150 ringgit measure, and he won't make a repayment up to 60 monthly and equal payment. So the first thing is we decided to represent the cash basis and the hire purchase basis so we can know what is the advantage of it.
So, here is the things we decided to help Mr. Amran. First, we decided to represent the cash basis and high purchase basis so we can know what is advantages and disadvantages of them. In order to by knowing the advantages of it, we also can make a wise decision so that it will make us easy in helping Mr. Amran. Next, we need to find a financial institution that has the advantages that offer the standard high purchase, which is more worth. By identifying this, it will help us in choosing the best facilities for Mr. Amran. We do a list of a car that might be picked by Mr. Amran perfectly due to purposes of the company. We also have mentioned two financial institutions that involve in hire purchase with all of specifications of the financial institution. Next, we also shown the calculations of deposit, hire purchase interest, installments, rebates, and final payment if he made early settlement in the 37th month for hire purchase period. And we also have to choose the best between two financial institutions that have the best offer. So this is the things that we decided to help Mr. Amran in their company.
So, definition of hire purchase. Hire purchase is a business arrangement and also an easy way for buyers to buy an expensive item where they can pay the installment per month. So, this way will include the interest which charged by the seller for the amount owing by the buyer, and the ownership of the goods remains with the seller until the last installment is paid by the buyer.
Differentiate between cash basis and hire purchase basis for the agreement is cash basis need a receipt or cash bill, while hire purchase basis an agreement of the hire purchase. For the ownership of the good is transferred immediately to the buyer, while hire purchase basis, ownership of the asset is not transferred from seller or vendor to purchaser until the last payment. For the time of payment happen of that time of according to the agreement, while time of payment may be monthly, quarterly, or yearly for the hire purchase basis. For the withdrawal, the seller cannot take back the goods whatever the case, while the hire purchase basis, if the installment payment are defaulted, the seller has the right to take back the assets.
Okay, so now we talk about the advantages and disadvantages of the hire purchase. So the advantages of hire purchase is, as the hire purchaser, you will own the asset after paying the last installment, which can make it favorable and alternative to lease. And then the second is the interest rate on hire purchase is fixed for the duration of the agreement, which is mean the rate is cannot be changed during the duration of the agreement and it is fixed. So for the disadvantages of hire purchase is duration. Most of hire purchase seems quite be long, which means the standard duration is 3 to 5 years. If it's for a car, then can make a lot of sense. But for other purchase, you will need to consider if there really is a benefit spreading the cost for that length of the time, which is you can make a budget for another asset you want to own, which is this disadvantage is only the long time period to finish the settlement. And then the second is you want own the asset until you have made the final hire purchase payment. Therefore, the vendor has the right to seize it should you fall for their terms, which is mean is cannot you will not own your asset until you have made the final hire purchase payment, which is you cannot get the asset until you finish all your payments.
Now I'll present about a comparison between two cars, which Mitsubishi Triton VGT Premium 4x4 and also Toyota Hilux Road 2800. Okay, for the price, we can see that the price for Mitsubishi Triton is only 121,000, while for Toyota Hilux is 146 and 800,000. So we can see that for the price for Mitsubishi Triton is more cheaper than Toyota Hilux. For specification, Mitsubishi Triton has VVAC turbo diesel engine, 6-speed transmission, approach angles, off-road mode, which the car can drive even in a hard road like jungle. And lastly is a turning radius. Okay, for the specification for Toyota Hilux is first Apple CarPlay, greater power, BILED headlamp. So it will more lighting than Mitsubishi Triton. And lastly, we have 5-year warranty.
Now we talk about the comparison between two banks, which the bank can give the best price to make a loan. So we go to the car that is Mitsubishi Triton VGT Premium 4x4. So the first is loan. The formula for the loan is selling price minus deposit. So the CIMB bank gives 108,900 ringgit, which is Maybank also give the same amount like CIMB bank. And then the second is deposit. The formula for deposit is selling price minus by down payment. So CIMB bank gives 12,100 ringgit, which is Maybank also give the same amount like CIMB bank. So the third is installment for 60 months. For the formula is loan multiplied by rate and multiplied by year plus loan divided by hiring period, which is month. So the CIMB banks give 127,219 ringgit, which is Maybank give 127,413 ringgit, which is the difference between these two banks is 194 ringgit. And then fourth is higher purchase interest, which is loan interest multiplied by interest rate and multiplied by years divided by number of installments. So the CIMB banks gives RM 258 and 64 cent, and Maybank gives 308 ringgit and 55 cents, which is the difference is 49 ringgit and 91 cents. And then next is total interest. Total interest, the formula is higher purchase multiplied by number of installments. So the CIMB bank gives RM 50,000 ringgit 519 ringgit, which is Maybank gives RM 18,513 ringgit, which is the difference is 2,994 ringgit. And then the higher purchase, the formula is deposit plus total interest plus loan. So say IMB bank gives 136,580 ringgit and 40 cents, while Maybank give 139,530 ringgit. So the difference between the higher purchase between these two banks is 2,994 ringgit and 60 cents. And then next is rebates value. Rebates value, the formula is n plus 1 divided by n plus n plus 1 multiplied by total interest. So CIMB bank gives RM 5,647 ringgit and 68 cents, while Maybank gives 6,752 ringgit 52 cents. And then for the rebates percentage, which the formula is rebates value divided by total high purchase interest multiplied by 100. So CIMB bank give 36 and 39%, while Maybank give 36 and 39% too. And then next is actual amount of interest paid, which is the total interest minus by rebates value. So CIMB bank gives 9,870 ringgit and 72 cents, while Maybank gives RM 11,775 ringgit and 48 cents, where the difference between these two banks is 1,000. The difference between two banks is 1,904 ringgit and 76 cents. And then next is actual amount owed, where the formula is loan plus actual amount interest paid, where the CIMB bank gives 180,000 ringgit 770 ringgit and 72 cents, while Maybank gives 122,000 ringgit 675 ringgit and 48 cents. And then the final payment for yearly settlement is 37 months, which is CIMB bank gives 44,190 ringgit 68 cents, while Maybank gives 44,227 ringgit and 68 cents. So that is for the comparison between these two banks.
So this is the financial institution for Toyota Hilux. Loan, selling price minus deposits. In CIMB bank, we're getting the same as Maybank, which is 132,120 ringgit. For deposits, selling price minus by rate down payment. CIMB bank is getting the same amount by Maybank, which is 14,680 ringgit. For installment for 60 months, loan times rate time year plus by loan divided hiring period. For CIMB bank, we are getting 150,947 ringgit 40 cents. For Maybank, we are getting 154,580 ringgit 40 cents. For higher purchase interest, loan times interest rate times years divided by number of installments. In CIMB bank, we are getting 313 ringgit 79 cents. In Maybank, we are getting 374 ringgit 34 cents. In total interest, hire purchase times by numbers of installments. In CIMB Bank, we are getting 18,827 ringgit 40 cent. In Maybank, we are getting 22,460 ringgit 40 cent. Hire purchase, deposit plus total interest plus loan. In CIMB Bank, we are getting 165,627 ringgit 40 cent. In Maybank, we're getting 169,260 ringgit 40 cent. For rebates value, n times n plus 1 divided by n times n plus 1 times total interest. In CIMB Bank, we are getting 6,851 ringgit 94 cent. In Maybank, we are getting 8,174 ringgit 11 cent. In rebates percentage, rebates value divided by total hire purchase interest times 100. In CIMB Bank, we are getting 36.39%. For Maybank, we are getting the same, which is 36.39%. Actual amount of interest paid. Total interest minus rebates value. In CIMB Bank, we are getting 11,975 ringgit 46 cent. For Maybank, we are getting 14,286 ringgit 29 cent. For actual amount owed, loan plus actual amount interest paid. For CIMB Bank, we are getting 144,095 ringgit 46 cent. For Maybank, we are getting 146,406 ringgit 29 cent. For financial payment for early settlement 37th month, in CIMB Bank, we are getting 53,527 ringgit 2 cent. For Maybank, we are getting 53,658 ringgit 5 cent.
So we made a comparison between CIMB Bank and Maybank. We have decided to choose CIMB Bank to Mr. Amran as his hire purchase institution approach because of this aspect. For the first aspect in installment is the amount of the installment of CIMB Bank is 2,070 ringgit and 64 cent per month, which is lower than Maybank that is 2,123 ringgit and 55 cent. For the second aspect is hire purchase interest. The amount of the hire purchase interest for CIMB Bank is 50,580 ringgit and 40 cent that are lower than Maybank, which is 80,530 ringgit. For the last aspect in final payment is Mr. Amran need to perform the final payment in total for only 44,190 ringgit and 68 cent that cheaper than Maybank, which is he need to pay 44,227 and 68 cent for the final payment in total.
The depreciation of the car. The cost price is RM 121,000 and the depreciation is 20%. We use the straight line method. So the current depreciation for every year will be the same amount. So for the year one, the formula is the cost price times depreciation percent. So RM 121,000 times 20%, we get RM 24,200. So the accumulated depreciation for year 1 is RM 24,200. So for the year 2, we get the same amount. So for the accumulated depreciation is the current depreciation year 2 plus accumulated depreciation for the year 1. So we get RM 48,400. For the year 3, the accumulated depreciation is RM 48,400 plus RM 24,200, which is the current depreciation for the year 3. So we get RM 72,600. For the last year, that is year 4, the current depreciation is RM 24,200 and the accumulated depreciation is accumulated depreciation year 3, that is RM 72,600 plus with the current depreciation year 4, that is RM 24,200 and we get RM 96,000 800.
Next, we move into accounting treatments for year 1 until year 4 in buyer. For bank installment in year 1, 2,073 ringgit 64 cent times by 12. We're getting 24,883 ringgit 68 cent or 24,884 ringgit. We're getting same amount as year 2 and year 3. For year 4, 2,073 ringgit 64 cent times by 60 minus 36. We're getting 49,767.36 cent or 49,767 ringgit. For HP interest in first year, 258 ringgit 64 cent times by 12. We are getting 3,103 ringgit 68 cent or 3,104 ringgit. We're getting same amount for year 2 and year 3. For year 4, 258 ringgit 64 cent times by 60 minus 36. We're getting 6,207 ringgit 36 cent or 6,207 ringgit.
So now, we continue with the seller side of calculation. We calculate the higher purchase profit by using the formula of higher purchase price minus cost price. How do we get higher purchase price? We need to total up the selling price of the car and also the total interest of the car. Then minus with 108,900 and we get the higher purchase profit 27,619 ringgit. Next, we calculate the unrealized profit and interest by using the formula installment not due over HP price times with higher purchase profit. Actually, the meaning is of unrealized profit is an unrealized gain is a potential profit that exists on paper resulting from an investment. So, you guys have to remember every calculation of unrealized profit is at the end of each year. Let me give you an example. For the first year, the installment not due is 48 months times with 2,074 ringgit as the installment per month divided by the higher purchase price and times with higher purchase profit. Then we get 20,140 ringgit. At the end of the 4th years, we still use the same formula and we get the 5,035 ringgit. And last but not least, we need to calculate the realized profit, which is equal to higher purchase profit minus with unrealized profit. So both of these items, we get it just now from the previous calculation. Then the answer that we get is 7,479 ringgit. I think that is all from me. Thank you.
So that's all what we got. What we can do to help him which the best car to choose and which the best bank to choose. So maybe you have a question where we get the source. So the reference is here. And then thank you from us.